Obviously Harry Kane's the captain, but he's the future captain of England.
How much would it take you to get in a ring with AJ?
I don't know. If Liverpool hit a run of form and win games, you never rule them out. But when I first joined Manchester United, we never had music, we weren't allowed it. But then Alex Ferguson then allowed it, and it was.
Welcome to the Wayne Rooney Show. It's Kelly's birthday, so she doesn't want to start off with it, so I will. Happy birthday, Kelly.
Kelly.
We're not going to ask how old she is, because obviously you don't ask a woman her age. However...
Or a man, by the way.
I'm 35, and I don't mind saying it, because for a while on social media, there was a thing where people were saying I was 37, and I was about 30 at the time, so now I'm banging the drum that I'm 35, and I'm not worried about that. It's not old.
Yeah, well, I'm older than you, so
I'm the youngest
right.
here. It's great.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh, well, thanks everyone.
Yeah, well, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day after this anyway.
Thanks. There's nothing more I wanted to do than to do a podcast with you guys. It's exactly what I hoped for.
Hey, this is what dreams are made of. Come on.
It is. Doing a podcast with Kay Kurd and Wayne Rooney, exactly what I wanted. Thanks for that. Yeah, okay, let's start by telling everyone we're recording this on a Sunday morning because there's only one game taking place on Sunday evening. I know it's Manchester United, but there was so much to talk about from Saturday, so we'll talk about all the football that happened. Firstly, though, just a quick word. Did anyone watch Anthony Joshua's fight on Friday?
I watched bits of it, and I mean, it was a lot of hugging going on from Jake Paul's side, wasn't there?
Yeah, but do you know what? I think fair play. Obviously, they've both been paid a lot of money, but I think fair play to him, mate. To get in the ring with Anthony Joshua, he must have a screw loose in his head or something.
100%.
But, well, he's got a few screws probably in his jaw now, but he's... listen, that was always going to happen at some point. When I think AJ took his time a little bit, could have got him out there earlier, but it was a big shot he took, and fair play.
He broke his jaw in two places, but I was thinking, was it 150 mil or something like that? You could break my jaw 4 times, bro.
Yeah, well, you could see, couldn't you? He knew in his face as soon as he took that punch. You could see his reaction. But no, fair play to him, mate. I think it's mad, it's crazy. It probably should never have been sanctioned, but fair play.
How much would it take you to get in a ring with AJ?
I don't know.
You tried to get in a ring with Bellew for free.
No, listen, it's a different level. The heavyweight and a 2-time world champion to get in the ring with him. I think I don't think you would, but fair play to Jake Paul, man. He's crazy, I think.
Okay, we'll get on to football in a moment, but another thing that I noticed this week that you shared on social media, Wayne, Luke Littler, you've become a bit of a trendsetter, haven't you, with this?
Yeah, see, that's what happens. We talk about the Shumper, and Luke Littler is in one as well now, so there'll be a few more coming out soon, you'll see.
I actually realised, recently I bought a jumper that had a shirt underneath it that was attached.
Oh, see them now, Casey.
No, I have taken it back.
You give a me stick for it.
I didn't really realise what it was. I thought it was a top and a jumper, and it came and it really made me laugh. It didn't fit me, and I've sent it back. But Luke Littler's obviously a trendsetter. We need to get him on this podcast at some point. Do you know him, Wayne?
I've met him a few times. Yeah, he's a nice lad. Obviously, he's a lot younger than me, but it's great to see what he's doing. I think he's a massive part of the change in prize money in darts. It's incredible.
Have you ever been to the darts?
Yeah, I went last year actually in Manchester. I haven't been to Ali Pali to watch it. I seen Ed Sheeran went and got quite a bit of stick, so I was thinking if he's getting stick then I'm definitely going to get it. Yeah,
well, Madison's been there as well, hasn't he? He goes quite often.
Yeah.
So I reckon it'll be a fun day out, man. Come on, we can go in fancy dress and no one knows it's you.
Anyway, let's talk about football. And let's start with Tottenham versus Liverpool. What a game that was, particularly in the second half. Spurs ended the game with 9 men. Of course, Liverpool won 2-1. Xavi Simons and Christian Romero both sent off. Let's start with, we obviously had Xavi Simons on the podcast a few weeks ago, and it was a really fascinating chat. If you haven't listened to it, I thoroughly recommend it because he's had a remarkable career. He just hit his stride, hadn't he, at Spurs, Wayne? And then he got that red card. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was a strange one. I was in the boardroom at Everton watching it. It was on in the background, and I thought it was it was a strange red card because obviously Van Dijk's is captain for Holland as well, and so I wouldn't think that he's meant to do it, but I think it's just probably a rush of blood to his head.
I think what's happened is I don't think he was having a particularly good game. I think he was running around trying to look like, trying to do something to get himself amped up and try and feel like he's part of it. And then he's just done something silly. But he's come out on social media apologising to the fans and everyone else, saying that he'd never mean to hurt Virgil van Dijk intentionally. But I think it's one of those where it's a learning experience for him. He'll look back on it in a few years and he'll learn how to manage emotions like that a bit better.
It was one of those games, wasn't it, where so much happened, particularly in that second half, as I said, but Tottenham were getting really wound up, weren't they? There was kind of a lot of fouls, and it just felt like they were all playing on the edge a little bit. Wayne, did it feel like that watching it?
Yeah, because I weren't watching it with as much detail as I normally would because I was where I was, but yeah, I think sometimes it's better, and I think in the big games as well, but playing on that edge and you're at risk of it overflowing a little bit. And I think with the two red cards, the second red card is the Romero one. I think is soft. I think Konate's played on it a little bit, but I think playing on that edge, you're at danger of getting a red card or something silly happening. But the outcomes can be much better when you're playing on that edge. I think that's what people want to see as well.
Mm-hmm. What have you made of Spurs recently, Wayne? Because I know the Spurs fans, there's been a bit of discontent in terms of the style of play, and with Thomas Frank. Where do you think Spurs are at the moment? Yeah,
they're struggling a little bit, aren't they? I think Thomas Frank, I really like him. I think he's a really top manager. But I think he will come under a bit of pressure, sadly. But the Tottenham fans are not too pleased. But yeah, I think they're struggling.
The recruitment's been terrible. Like, you look at some of the players there as well, in that squad as well. I look at some of the starters they have, like Bentancur, Archie Gray, Kolo Muani, Vicario. Like, I don't necessarily think these are players that can take you to the next level. And you look at somebody like Bergvall, who's probably their most creative player, and it says it all.
What about Liverpool then? Because I mean, they had a tricky few weeks, of course, but it feels like maybe they're finding their feet again. They've moved up to 5th, and I mean, Ekitike is in brilliant form as well, isn't he, Wayne?
Yeah, he is. He's been one of, if not the best signing in the Premier League in the summer. And fair play to him, because the pressure on him must have been huge, because obviously he cost quite a bit of money as well. But with Liverpool bringing Verton and Isak, there's a huge amount of pressure on him to try and get in the team, and he's been the one who's the most consistent one for them in terms of scoring goals, and his overall play has been really good, and he's playing with a bit of an attitude, which I like as well, from him. So yeah, he's been really good. I think Liverpool has come back into form, which I'm sure obviously for Arne Slot is good. So yeah, unfortunately, hopefully that doesn't continue. But yeah, I have to give them credit. To go to Tottenham, even though Tottenham aren't in the best run of form, it's always a difficult place to go. So to go there and win the way they did, fair play to them.
Do you know what? I don't think it's a resurgence. I think the league is quite competitive at the moment. I think one loss can put you further down in the table. One loss can take you right up into the European spots. It's just that competitive of a league. I don't think necessarily that they're back. I mean, they didn't look incredible.
They look more solid. They look like they're not conceding as many goals. They look like they're working together to not concede goals, and they definitely look more solid. So whatever. It's
a good building block, though, isn't it? It's
of course. And with the attacking players to go on the team, if you don't concede goals, then obviously you've got a better chance to win games. And when you say about going back to basics, which I've said on here quite a few times, it looks like what defensively they've said, right, we're going to be harder to beat, we're going to be hard to play against, hard to score against, and then you rely on your forward players to go win you the game. And it sounds simple, but that looks like what they've done, and that's obviously helping them.
Yeah, it's an interesting league, actually, isn't it? It does feel like Arsenal and City are kind of way up there, and then it's quite competitive with the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, and teams like that.
You forgot Villa.
Yeah, sorry.
Sure, the Villa
haven't played. As I said, Wayne, don't get me in trouble with the Villa fans, please. That's what I'm saying. It feels like Arsenal and Man City are kind of up there as the two best teams at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be the two to break away in Liverpool as well. I think, if Liverpool hit a run of form and win games, you never rule them out, because, and especially if they get their support behind them, then they could have a say, wouldn't rule them out. But Arsenal and City are the two which I think will break away. Villa have done fantastic. Certainly in terms of the Premier League, I think it'll be one of the top two.
Okay, we were talking about Arsenal then. They got a big win at Everton. Wayne, you were there. You mentioned it already. You were in the boardroom. That felt like a really significant win for Arsenal, because they've kind of had a bit of a wobble lately, and Everton played well, made it really difficult for them.
Yeah, but you know what I loved about the game? Obviously, didn't love the result because wanted Everton to win, but what I loved about it is at the end of the game, full-time whistle, the Arsenal players are flat out, the line on the back, that you could see them knackered, and that's what, as a fan, that's what you want to see from your players. You want to see them, they're giving everything to win the game, and the game management towards the end was brilliant. And I have to say, Declan Rice is incredible. Yeah. It was a pleasure watching him. He was all over the pitch, and his decision making, when to pass it, where to pass it, what foot to pass it to, his detail on his pass. And it was a pleasure to watch. He was absolutely incredible.
He seems like one of those players where you could play him anywhere and he'll do a good job for you.
Yeah, well, he's taking the ball off. He's coming in. He's splitting the centre backs. He's taking the ball off the centre backs. Acting as a third centre back. Then next minute he's in the box trying to score a goal. There's detail of his passes, picking up second balls, always landing on balls, and sometimes some of the stuff he does goes a little bit underrated, but he was absolutely incredible.
What kind of stuff do you think goes under the radar that he does? Just
where you land on second balls and the work he's doing to get himself in the right position to do that, and you'd think, why does the ball always fall to him when like a defender heads to clear and stuff? Because he's anticipating really well, he's putting himself in the right positions, and then he gets it. Then there's detail of whether he drives forward it or whether he slows the game down. He was brilliant, by far the best player on the pitch yesterday.
He's going to be so important, isn't he, for England as well? You kind of feel like for Arsenal, if they are to go on and win something this season, they need him to keep fit, and for England as well, for the World Cup, he just feels like he's huge.
He is. For me, he's obviously Harry Kane's the captain, but he's the future captain of England. For me, he's the one who's probably waiting for Harry to hang his boots up at some point, and then he's the right one to take over for me, because just his drive, his personality is. Everyone seems to love him who knows him, who's close to him, and so yeah, he's just he's irreplaceable for England.
He's got a great attitude, doesn't he? And he seems like the kind of guy that's always up for a good time, but within reason, and he doesn't get silly with it. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't take himself too seriously while also leading by example, which is just lovely to see.
Yeah, no, he's so important for both Arsenal and England, and just watching him yesterday, watching him live, and how he went about his job yesterday was a pleasure.
What about Viktor Gyökeres? He scored the winning goal from the penalty spot. It's his first goal since November. He was their big summer signing. What have you made of him and the way he's adapting to the Arsenal team?
Can I start? I think. Look, he's playing in the Portuguese league. It was always going to be hard to come and adapt to the Premier League. When you took a deeper dive into his stats, a lot of his goals came against bottom half opposition in the Portuguese league. So that's why when he was being linked with United, I wasn't really sold on him. I know he got a few goals in the Champions League and stuff as well, but it's when you're a big player and you rely on your physicality and you come to a league where defenders aren't just going to be a pushover, it's a bit of a shock. I think you need to give him a season, but it was good from the Arsenal players, people like Odegaard and whatever, to give him the penalty to sort of boost up his confidence.
I disagree. As a forward, at 0-0, your penalty taker should be taking the penalty. I think if the game's done, the game's won, then yeah, but at 0-0, your penalty taker has to be the one. If he misses that, then there's the problem.
But even for his confidence, though, wouldn't it boost his confidence?
Yeah, I know, but I think your penalty taker is your penalty taker for a reason. He should be the one to take the penalty, and I completely get it. I've given penalties to people who need the goal, but we've been 3 or 4-0 up at 0-0. At 0-0, I know he's a number 9, your goal scorer, but you're doing it for confidence. But you your penalty should be the one to take the penalty in a big game away from home when you're going to try and win the league. So I think, thankfully from Arsenal's point of view, he scored, but it should have been whether Odegaard or Saka, whoever the penalty taker is. I think they should have took him. It's worked now. It's obviously worked now, but if they miss, then I think that's a big issue.
I think it's hard for Arsenal as well, because for so often they've been playing with people like Havertz in that position or Gabriel Jesus, which they're a very different type of striker to what Gyokeres is. So, I mean, you could put all the blame on Gyokeres as well, but I think at times you sort of need other players to know how to play with a player like that.
See, I think he does more than what you see. I think he hasn't scored the goals, which obviously he scored in the Portuguese league, but I think he does a bit more than what you see. Like even last night, he occupies the two centre backs, and he occupied Tarkowski and Michael Keane. I thought Michael Keane was brilliant again. Yes, he's been really good for Everton. But what he does, he occupies them, so that creates a bit more space then for your number 10 or your wide players who are coming inside, or it just keeps the centre backs on the toes and makes them aware that he's there, and it creates a little bit more space for other players. So I think he is important for Arsenal, and he's doing a job for Arsenal which helps other players. He just hasn't got the goals which you'd expect from him.
Can he be the difference? Because obviously you look at Man City and you think that Haaland is probably going to be the difference for them. He scores the big goals. Admittedly, Phil Foden does at the moment too. But can Gyokeres be the difference? Because it feels like for years we've been saying that Arsenal need the number 9. Is he the man to help them win the title?
Well, he'll certainly help if that's what they go on to do and win the title. So yeah, I think what I said before, he's freeing other players up. Like last season, we seen the ball going out wide, and Declan Rice was actually the one who was going to be that present in the penalty box for Arsenal and doing probably a bit more work than he had to, because he lacked that number 9 last season. So, and that's what I mean about where he is giving other players a bit more space, and you maybe don't see it, it's not eye-catching, but he does occupy the centre-back. So I think he's doing a job for Arsenal. Could he be better? Of course he can. Should he score more goals playing in that team? Yeah, he should, but I think if Arsenal go to win the league, then he'll have had a big role to play, definitely.
One of the things that I saw Saka and Gyokeres did post-match interview on TV, and Saka was quite honest, and he said, we should have killed the game off. They had opportunities, didn't they? And I guess, obviously, they're brilliant defensively and they've got key defenders back, so that probably helped them. But it was perhaps surprising that they didn't take more chances, Kay.
I mean, yeah, I know, but David Moyes' teams are hard to play against, man. Like, it's all very well and good. It's like good saying we should have killed it off, but like, it is hard playing against Everton. I mean, United played them with 10 men and couldn't get anything out of the game.
But they had 2 chances, didn't they? Trossard at the post, that's a great chance. That would have been some goal, by the way. I was watching that build-up play, and if they come from the goalkeeper, went round the back, played through Everton, that would have been an incredible goal. He should score. And then they had to post the game. But other than that, I don't think Pickford had a save to make.
Yeah.
Other than that, and same with David Raya, didn't really have a save to make. And so then you look at the difference was Arsenal get the penalty, Everton don't. And it was crazy from Jake O'Brien. It's a stupid penalty giveaway. It was a clear penalty. But I think Everton should have the penalty as well. I think the defender's gone to try and clear the ball. He missed times and he boots... Beto, was it? And send him to the ground, and so it's a penalty for me. And it come up on the big screen at the stadium and explained why it wasn't a penalty. And there weren't enough contact.
I saw a lot of Everton fans complaining about it online. There was
actually, he's gone to volley the ball out of his penalty box, doesn't get the ball, and it's the forward. So for me, it missed times, it's a penalty.
And what was it like, Wayne, being in... you were in the director's box, did you say?
Yeah, no, it's obviously been a few times now to the new stadium, and it's really good. And I think it'll get better and better.
I don't have you down as the prawn sandwich brigade, Wayne.
Yeah, no, well, I couldn't turn it down. Sat with Adrian Heath and Duncan Ferguson. So there's no way you can not go to that and be sat with them in their company. But no, it was really nice. And nice to be back there. So Kai was with me yesterday as well. He come to watch, and Colleen was over the other side of the stand with my youngest.
Well, so you got to go in the director's box and Colleen didn't?
She was on the other side. No, she was in Jack Grealish's box, to be fair.
Okay. I thought you meant that you'd made her go and sit in like.
No, she has.
seats.
So I've got 4 season tickets, which I haven't been on them yet, but she normally goes and sits in the stand with me, my youngest lad, yeah. It's nice to go with my kids, go back, because I remember going with my dad and my uncles to watch Everton when I was obviously a kid, so now with my kids playing, you don't know, I'm me doing match of the day, don't always get a chance, so when you get a chance, it's actually nice to go back and take my kids and keep that family tradition going.
How fun is it sitting next to Duncan Ferguson when you used to...
When is he coming on the podcast as well? We need to get him on.
Yeah, no, he said yes, he will come on, so we'll get him on at some point. But no, it's still mad, obviously. He was my hero growing up, and to play with him, and he's always good fun and good company to be with.
Okay, well, talking of someone that's obviously heavily associated with Everton as well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has had a real resurgence, hasn't he, at Leeds at the moment. He scored twice as Leeds beat Palace 4-1 at Ellen Road. That's 6 goals in 5 games. He's the first Leeds player to score in 5 successive Premier League games since Mark Viduka back in August 2003. I don't know why, I've always just had a soft spot for him, Wayne. I've always enjoyed watching Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm just really pleased to see him back playing well.
Yeah, no, delighted for him. Everton could do with him. So, but you know what he is? If he's fit, I think Everton made the right decision in terms of, over the last couple of seasons, he was never fit really, and he was out of contract. So I think it would have been very difficult for Everton to give him a new contract with his injury record. But he's gone to Leeds. He's kept himself fit. He must be, the physios are doing a good job with him there, and if he's fit, he's such a handful to play against, to obviously play with him. And what I was saying about occupying defenders, he does that. He competes, he's great in the air, he's good in both boxes. And when he's in a run of form and scoring goals like he is, then he's a handful to play against. And I'm pleased to see him scoring again.
I was almost surprised that not a lot of other clubs came in for him during the summer, because I would have taken him as a backup striker at United.
Well, there was talks then he was linked, but I think purely not because of his ability as a player, but purely because of his injury record, it was very difficult for anyone to take that chance and take up a spot and spend the money on him. And I remember when there was talk of Leeds taking him and maybe going on as a pay-as-you-play and stuff like that, and that's where he was with his injuries. And you forget he's still quite young. He's still got a bit left in him, and you forget how good a player he is. And seeing him now and the goals he's scoring, in form, confident. He's, if he continues this, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be talked or even get an opportunity to go to the World Cup. And purely because of the lack of forwards that England have got.
How serious is this form, and how seriously should Thomas Tuchel be looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Wayne, for next summer?
In this moment in time, that there's obviously Ollie Watkins has come back into form as well, and I think you go with Ollie Watkins over Dominic, but in this moment in time, he's put himself in a position where Thomas Tuchel will have to be looking at him to take him. He's given himself a chance. I think that's all I could say. I wouldn't say because of what's happened over the last couple of weeks he should be going in. He needs to keep this form up till the end of the season, and then he gives himself a real chance. But at the minute, he'll be making Thomas Tuchel and his coaches look at him for sure.
I was going to ask, you see, with things like fitness, does a change of environment sometimes help? Like when you're going to a new club, their physios or the training regime there might be a little bit different, so it helps you in certain ways. Does that have an effect, or is it just? Yeah,
and I think when he's signed for Leeds as well, I'm sure they'll have looked at all his past and the injuries he's had, and I'm sure they'll be managing whatever them issues were. Where when you've been in a club for a long time, they've probably got all the injuries he's had, and it just feels like this is never going to end, and it just gives you that freshness to go in, fresh in the mind, and there's probably been a plan put in place by Leeds, which I'm sure Everton had as well, but just fresh eyes on it, fresh team on it, gives you that that comfort that you can go out and play, and that looks like that's what's happened.
You were at Everton with him, Wayne, weren't you? So what was he like as a teammate? What kind of person was he, and what kind of player was he to play with?
Yeah, no, he was a good personality. Always worked at Duncan Ferguson. Done a lot of work with him one-on-one as well, in the penalty box, and yeah, he was a good teammate. And the leap on him, we used to do box jumps, and I've never seen anyone jump as high from a standing jump. Incredible. So, we knew we had ability, and then I think when Ancelotti come in, he was in his best run of form, best form for Everton, and then unfortunately got his injuries. So no, really happy to see him back doing what he's doing, and when he's fit, he's tough for any defender.
I was going to ask about his fashion as well. He wears some interesting stuff, doesn't he? I don't know if he'd wear one of your shumpers, Wayne.
Yeah, no, I don't think he would. It was him and Tom Davis actually when I went back to Everton. Some of the stuff they were coming in, and I was just like, "What is happening here?" We've seen it more and more now, but that was the first time firsthand I'd seen it. It's very, very different to what obviously I'd wear, but that's fashion. Young lads, that's what they're into now. So he's not my fashion for sure.
Did you notice a change in dressing rooms as you got older?
Oh yeah.
What, in terms of fashion?
No, not because I've spoken to some older players, and they were like, you couldn't have even had a toiletry bag at one point because people would have given you a stick for it, and now all of them have one.
Yeah, no, you do. You see a change in. Well, when I first joined Manchester United, we never had music before games. So,
oh really?
No, there's no music. We weren't allowed it. And then Alex
so you just listened to Roy Keane shouting at you?
just there. You had to talk to each other. Imagine that. But then Alex Ferguson then allowed it, and it was who was it? Bruce Springsteen. It was. So that it was just him. It was his album what was on, and then the more it went on, it changed, and you could have a bit more. Then and then the fashion sense, everything. Yeah, it's when I started playing to when I finished playing, there was a big difference in the dressing room.
Who controlled the music at United when you?
Eventually, it was Patrice Evra, and then there was some of the Spanish lads as well who put it on. So it was very varied.
Did you not get involved?
Not really, because I actually went one. I've never listened to it on the bus. I went one for it. I've said I listened to Susan Boyle, but I listened to one song. So I weren't really too fussed on what music it was. Like, we had Spanish, Portuguese music playing, rap music, whatever. And I'd just go with it, whatever it was, really.
Can you just clarify the Susan Boyle thing?
Yeah, no, I've said before. That's why I keep bringing it up.
You brought it up. I was going to say.
I just listened to one song, Wild Horses. That's it.
What, every game? Ahead of every game?
Before every game, yeah.
Why?
Just before I went out, it just calmed me down and relaxed me.
I don't actually know that. But yeah, I think that... Sorry, this is really blowing my mind. At what point did you think I'm going to listen to Susan Boyle?
It must have just come on, and I thought, that's really good and relaxing.
I don't even know what the song is.
I love how you're trying to find a nice psychological reason for why he's chosen that song.
No, because I'm not imagining that he was on a night. Like, do you know what I mean? He's probably not been on a night out, heard Susan Boyle, and thought, "God, listen to that." Like, I haven't listened. I just wondered where
I watch all the obviously. I used to watch all the talent shows and
of course,
and whatever. So it was a relaxing song, and I thought, why not? So it did just before, it was after the warm-up, just before we go out to actually kick off the game, and I put it on.
You a fan, Kay? You a fan of Susan Boyle?
I don't necessarily listen to a particular song. I mean, before I go out on stage.
That's a no look.
Just upbeat music's enough for me. But when I'm in the gym and stuff, I try to find the most aggressive rap music I can find. To be honest with you,
aggressive rap music.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't listen to like Susan Boyle in the gym or anything like. If I'm doing anything physical, it has to be like really.
Yeah, no, of course, and I get that. But for me, it was more just a just to relax and switch off from everything just before you go out for the game. And
do you still listen to it now?
No, I've got no games to play.
Before he does his podcast every day.
Before I come on here, yeah.
Or maybe
when he has to deal with your internet issues, he just brings wild horses on to calm him down.
No, all right, fair enough. My internet's already gone once today as well. All I want for Christmas is better internet connection, or for my birthday even, and that's for sure. And before we move on, bringing it back to the football and the serious stuff, just a word on Daniel Farke, because Wayne, a month, 6 weeks ago, he was really under pressure and there were rumours that he was going to be sacked. Leeds have been on a really impressive form since and have climbed the table. How much credit does he deserve for what he's done there?
Yeah, a lot. And I think what we've seen with him over the years is when he's come into the Premier League, he's been sacked quite early on, hasn't he? And so Leeds have obviously stuck with him, and they were brilliant in the Championship last season, and they've gone up and they've gone through a sticky patch, and come out. You know, it's always a difficult place to go at Ellen Road. So yeah, I think he deserves a huge amount of credit, because is this his third time now trying in the Premier League? So the pressure on him would have been huge this season, and when you've gone through that sticky patch, he's got everyone together and got them through it, and playing really well.
I just think what this shows is when a manager has a little bit of credit in the bank, to sort of stick with them. He got them promoted. And I think fans can be a little bit reactionary when you see a little bit of bad form and go sack him. But the grass isn't always greener once you do sack a manager. And I think they've stuck with him. He's turned it around, and I think that's a lot of other clubs could learn from that, to be honest with you. I think especially if a manager's been there and got you into that position. Also, isn't it quite refreshing that I think probably this time last year we were all having, or towards the end of last season, we were all having the conversation of, oh, every team that comes up is going straight back down. We've got Sunderland, who are in the top half of the table, and we've got a Leeds side who are kind of gradually climbing the table as well. It just feels like it's quite refreshing, Wayne. Don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately that means probably one or possibly two more established teams over the last few years in the Premier League will be getting relegated. And so I think for teams like West Ham and Forest have picked up at the minute, teams are looking over the shoulders or looking above them now, thinking, oh my God, we could go down, and there's a realisation that could happen. So, which brings a bit more excitement into the Premier League.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's where we'll leave this episode of the Wayne Rooney Show. If you want to get Wayne's thoughts on the Manchester United game, you're on Match of the Day, aren't you? Or on Sunday night, Wayne, that's right?
Yeah, going there quite soon. Go and watch Villa v Man United, and then me and Dion Dublin. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, if you do want to hear Wayne's thoughts on the Man United game, you can watch Match of the Day on Catch Up. And talking of Dion Dublin, he actually joined us the other week when we recorded our Christmas special. It was good fun, wasn't it, Kay?
Great fun. Dion's a great lad. I love how he got the crew involved with certain beverages beforehand.
Should we say that? Or if it needs to be cut out, it can be. But yeah, Dion turned up, what was it, 10 in the morning we recorded? And he turned up with some rum for everyone. So,
it was actually nice, and I don't like rum, but it was actually...
It was all right, wasn't it?
It was a nice chocolate caramel one, was it?
Yeah. Just to point out, we had the tiniest bit just to try it, just to keep Dion happy.
He's good fun. He's good fun. Loads of energy, and yeah, I love how all over the BBC Dion Dublin is. Yes. I don't think there's a show that he's not on at the moment, and I love that for him. So long may it continue. Okay, well, that episode will be available on Christmas Eve, and you can listen to it first on BBC Sounds. That's available right now, so download the app and search for The Wayne Rooney Show, and it'll also be available on iPlayer and the BBC Sport YouTube on Christmas Eve. All that's left to say is Happy Christmas, enjoy, and we'll be back soon.